Hey, what's up, y'all? It's WODU Studios, the best in college radio. We're bringing you hosting KBR Sports, the best sports talk show of your 24-hour day. I'm your host, Brendan Abbin, with my co-host to the far left, Rashad Pennell, and my co-host to my right, Khalid Lewis. And we got two guests in the studio today. To the far right, Nick Exposito, joining us from good old PA. And then we got Rudy Henderson, regular
star of the show.
No,
Whoa.
he's about to get upstage real quick. He's gonna catch some mic checks on here. He's gonna be talking to cut his mic off. But we got a good slate of topics for y'all today. We're gonna be talking about the Kevin McHale firing that was breaking news yesterday, and how that's gonna affect the team moving forward, and who's more culpable in him getting fired. Was it him per se, or was it actually the players and how they were playing, because they started with a 4-7 record? Then we're gonna debate about the question if the Warriors can actually win 70 plus games, because I mean they haven't lost yet, and tonight they're slated to play the Clippers, so that'd be a good topic of discussion. And then is the Latvian freak the best rookie out of the NBA draft? I mean, Kristaps Porzingis been balling, and hey, some people have him up there, put him up there with Dirk Nowitzki discussions. So
yes,
who knows? Is Kristaps the best out the draft right now? We'll get into that. And then also, can the Dallas Cowboys make the playoffs?
Not a chance in hell.
Can the Cowboys make the playoffs?
No chance.
That's a great. That'll be something we get into. I know somebody over there is grimacing a little bit over there. He's trying to hide it. He got his hat on. He representing hard today.
Joe Montana can help him.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long hour of debate, and then we're gonna get into our predictions tonight about the NFL game tonight and the NBA games also tonight. But starting off with Kevin McHale, Rockets coach, gets fired after 11 games essentially, and the team was 4-7, and they weren't playing cohesive basketball. But the thing is, the reason why a lot of people are having stirs about this, because this is a team that just made it to the Western Conference Finals last year and lost to the champions, the Golden State Warriors, without their starting point guard Patrick Beverley. So now everybody's like, wait, so how are you going to fire a guy after 11 games when you just brought in a new point guard in Ty Lawson, and you're still trying to get everything meshing together? I mean, even the Miami Heat and the Cleveland Cavaliers, when you brought in new players and big parts to handle the ball, or that are ball dominant, they don't mesh right away. So it's like he didn't get the chance to get the team going in the right direction. So do you guys really feel like McHale deserved to be let go? And also, do you think it's more so his fault, or is it on the owner, Daryl Morey, or on the players themselves? We'll start off with you, Khalid. What do you think?
Kevin McHale did not deserve to get kicked, fired. It's only been 11 games, and he only lost 4. And like you said, they bring in new players, and it's looking kind of shaky with them trying to get back together. But it's only been 11 games. Kevin McHale has had a record of wins. He's had a winning record.
They lost 7 games, bro.
Oh,
they only won 4.
Oh, they won 4. My bad. My bad.
I wasn't gonna stop you when you was on your roll. I'm sorry. Last time I did, you was all like, "Oh, all right." I was gonna let you keep going.
They lost 7 games. My apologies. But Kevin McHale has had a history of winning records. Like you said, he led his team to the
Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, the Western Conference Finals last year, and they are bringing in new players. They didn't have their starting point guard, but my man, the super beard, the beard,
the super beard,
the super beard.
That's what we call him.
That's what we call him. The amazing beard.
The amazing
beard. That man came through and put the team on his back and led the team to the Western Conference Finals with Kevin McHale's coaching. So I definitely believe that it was way too early to be kicking this man out of the organization.
All right, Rashad, let me know how you feel about it.
Right there.
You can't fire this man. I mean, if we go back to last year's playoffs, I mean, this season they start off 4-7, but I mean, look at other teams who start off like the Lakers or the Pelicans or stuff like that. So I mean, right now his team is still, they're kind of in there right now. They're not really out, But you got to think about how they did last year when the game they lost, how James Harden had 8 turnovers, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that, coach can't make that. Coach don't control that.
Mhm.
But like I mean, we still see when James Harden's playing, Dwight Howard's hurt and stuff. It's more of a stagnant offense. Everybody watch James Harden play.
Yep.
But can you really say, kind of how we talking about yesterday about Russell Westbrook when everybody started watching? Can we really say that's the coach's fault, or is it the players just they see James Harden doing his thing, so they just want to stand and watch?
Mhm.
So I can't really. I don't say you should fire Kevin McHale. It's not his fault that how the offense runs. I mean, it's his offense, but it's not how they run it.
Mhm.
So firing him at 4-7 is just like overreacting. Basically, you shouldn't do it. But like my man's what was Nigel saying? Bringing that man Scotty Brooks. Bringing that Scotty Brooks.
Please don't.
Oh my God.
Hey, they need somebody there because this interim, I don't know if he can handle it.
Please don't.
Rudy, how do you feel about it?
I don't believe he deserved to get fired over this. They had a great run last year, the Western Conference Finals. I think this is one of the worst decisions since putting Andrew Luck on your fantasy football team. This was a horrible decision as an organization. They have no leader out there. As far as it being on the players and the owner, I'm gonna put it 60-40, 60 on the owner, 40 on the players, and that 40% is going directly on Dwight Howard's head because this firing was in a correlation with how he's performing, and he's not performing that good, especially when you have guys like Andre Drummond, who's only had 1 game this season with less than 15 rebounds, and he's not quite as physically gifted as Dwight as far as muscle tone and whatnot. So what's the difference between a guy like Andre Drummond, who wasn't gifted with any sort of offensive game and not the same tools as Dwight, outperforming him, and guys like Hassan Wiltside out here, my man looking great. My man Hassan Whiteside getting triple doubles out here, but Dwight can barely put up, what is it, like 14 and 10 right now? It's horrible.
Yeah.
So I feel like the firing was more a correlation because Dwight Howard wasn't producing, but at the end of the day, who are you going to get that's better than Kevin McHale? I have to look at decisions like this and think, if you're going to fire the guy, you have to bring in somebody better, and there's no one really better out there. Scotty Brooks, like you said, I mean, Mark.
Keep going. I gotta get to
Yeah, Scott Brooks. I mean, he's gonna do the same thing McHale did. Let's watch James Harden run this offense and nobody else do anything. That's what he did when he was the Thunder. Mark Jackson might be a solution, but you gotta see how that works.
All right, Nick. How do you feel about Kevin McHale getting fired?
Well, back to what Rudy was saying, understanding that James Harden run the offense with the interim head coach last night. I think he had 45. He dropped 45. Dwight had 12.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Well, I know. Well, Brendan has a bittersweet feeling about Dwight Howard from what happened in LA.
Yeah. I'm gonna get into that right after you finish talking. Actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Keep going.
It's okay. I understand that your team is just trash.
Hey man, keep going. Keep going.
But,
aren't y'all feeling the same bittersweet feeling about DeAndre Jordan?
Back to what I was saying.
He didn't. Dwight Howard didn't commit to us. DeAndre Jordan committed to y'all and left. But keep going.
We beat them.
Okay, keep going. Just keep going.
Anyways, back to what I was saying. Should he have gotten fired 11 games in? No, I would have given him a 20-game stint, just for he can test the water out.
Mm-hmm.
But he's had the chance to go to the finals. He's had what they lose the first round 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago they lost the first round to the Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean he's had his opportunities make it to the league and make it to the finals. That's kind of how it works in hockey sometimes. I know it's a completely different sport, but you got a 20-game trial, and if you guys suck, they're gonna fire the coach and get somebody else in there.
Yeah, well, I believe that he did not deserve to get released, even though I feel at this point, because it just so happens that they had a player-only meeting Tuesday, and then he ends up getting fired on Wednesday, and so it seems like the players were kind of the GM kind of gave out that reason that he wasn't reaching the players anymore, but it's one of those things. I'm like, what do you mean? A championship coach, a coach who's a proven champion with the Celtics, when you want to tell me he can't reach the players anymore? And then it's and then when you see the Rockets play, when you've seen them play this season, there's a lot of James Harden isolation, and there's a lot of James Harden handling the rock. But that's what you brought Ty Lawson in to handle, or for Ty Lawson to do, to be the point guard. But it doesn't seem like James Harden is too fond of relishing those, abilities or responsibilities. And right now, the Rockets they're 29th in defensive efficiency. So practically, they're not guarding anybody. Almost, they're not. They're just there. Oh, and if then with James Harden on the court, James Harden's matchup is 3.7%, has a 3.7% chance of scoring higher than when anybody else on the Rockets is guarding him. That's terrible. James Harden practically is just he upgraded his defense last year. He got better from what it was, and I mean that's not saying much. Yeah, I mean legit. James Harden's defense. If I would demonstrate again like I did with Nick Young, but I can't get up. But I would demonstrate again. Like this is James Harden. Here's the offensive player. That's essentially what it is. James Harden is just a player in cement who doesn't move laterally and doesn't really play great defense. Yeah, exactly.
Traffic cone.
And exactly, he's essentially a traffic cone. And I mean, he's averaging throughout the first 11 games under Kevin McHale, he was averaging 27.3 points, 6 rebounds, 5.8 assists, but he was shooting 37.2% from the field and 26% from three-point range, and he was jacking up like 8 a game. It seems like a lot of people think they're Steph Curry nowadays. I don't know what it is, but a lot of people think they're Steph. But yeah, exactly. And to Rudy's point, also Dwight Howard, you were brought in as an 80 million plus contract guy, which he turned down 100 million plus from the Lakers to come to Houston because he said he wanted to win a championship. And since he's been in Houston, he has not proven to be the same big man that he was in Orlando that everybody thought they were getting when they were paying him this money. I mean, you owe that to James Harden because James Harden, you're supposed to be technically James Harden's sidekick. This team is built around James Harden. So you owe that much to James Harden because you're supposed to be the best big man in basketball. When you got big men that like DeMarcus Cousins, you got big men like Andre Drummond, Greg Monroe, you got guys like that. Even Karl Anthony Towns is averaging better numbers right now than Dwight Howard is. And, yeah, and Jahlil Okafor, he's scoring better. He's not defensively. Defensively, he's not as better, but he's scoring better than Dwight Howard is. And so you got players like that, and you're like wondering like what's going. I mean, you don't know if he's fully healthy or not, but it's one of those things you have to wonder like what. Like, it kind of seemed like the players kind of left him out there to pasture, and then the general manager was kind of like, hey, he's gonna have to take the blame for it because I'm not going to take the blame for it. The players aren't going to take it because the NBA is a players' league. They're the ones that get paid millions of dollars. James Harden's the one that puts the butts in the seats, not Kevin McHale. So at the end of the day, when you see him get fired, you're like, I mean, it's player driven. So there's not much like he could do. But I mean, they did win last night in their game, but it did take like some late heroics from James Harden and Corey Brewer. It took like a running 3-pointer from Corey Brewer with 0.6 seconds left to tie the game up so they can go into overtime.
It was the Trailblazers. Like, let's be honest here.
It was the Trailblazers. Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum been balling.
Yeah. Side.
CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard have been balling though.
But the bearded one came up late because Chef Boy Harden always comes to play.